I genuinely want to look surprised here, but I can't. A few statements for you. Old Trafford really is AFC Bournemouth's playground. Manchester United are a dreadful football team. Cherries are 5th in the table. Andoni Iraola drinks Estrella and eats paella. And the theatre of dreams, I tell you what, we're making it a theatre of nightmares for them. We said it before the game, we think Man United are a poor football team. I do sense they are on a path to somewhere with Amorim rather than a path to nowhere like they were with Ten Hag, but there's a cultural entitlement at Old Trafford, which I think filters down from the very top of that football team right to the people on the pitch. And it leads to laziness, it leads to passing the buck, and it leads to shirking of responsibility. And Man United fans, it's worrying. I think you've got the right man to try to turn it around. However, it's almost an annual tradition for us Bournemouth fans, rocking up just before Christmas and getting 3 points, scoring 3 goals in the process. It's so mad, right? I talk about entitlement, and this is a bit of a side point, but look, as a YouTube channel, we do previews for every game. We're not one for stats. We're not the biggest YouTube channel. We know that. We're tiny in comparison. However, what I find really interesting is when we do a preview show, Wolves views are bigger, West Ham views are bigger, Forest views are bigger, Villa views are bigger, Man City views are bigger as well. Even Brentford views are. I think Man United fans, fair weather, touristy United fans, I think by their nature are quite parochial, just like the football club, only interested in what's happening on the inside. Ergo, there's some entitlement, some arrogance, and it just seems to be they've got this aura of a team that can just rock up on the football pitch, get 3 points and go home. Well, we hope you have a merry Manchester Christmas now, lads, because you're now in the bottom half of the table at Christmas. First time that's happened since the 89-90 season. Bournemouth, right? We didn't do anything complicated. We beat them in the most simple terms. We're better on the ball, more hunger, more desire, first to every challenge, ruthless when we needed to be, wily, fast counter-attacking, but also diligent with the ball as well. And we are where we are now. Before the game, well, the table made interesting reading. At the start of the weekend, I think we were in 6th place, and then by the start of the day, we were in 8th, owing to the games on Saturday. But the table now shows that Cherries are, look at that, that is just absolutely obscene, being in 5th place on 28 points. What a run we are on at the moment. So Bournemouth have played the big six, 6 times this season, 12 points. Andoni Iraola, we said it when he was employed by the football club. He's a man that gets statement results, and we've seen it again once more. So, what about the team that started then for AFC Bournemouth? Well, it wasn't really too much of a surprise. We knew we'd probably have 1 or 2 changes. Adams for Cook was the only change here. One thing of note is, have we ever fielded an 11 with only 1 English player before? Because that was the case with this one. But you could see what he was trying to do here, and you've got to say it probably worked, although we were probably better as the game wore on, of course. Manchester United, 5 of the 11 that started for them were also starting in the Carabao Cup, which meant that, yeah, they did rotate as expected. However, yeah, this was always going to be an interesting one to see how it unfolded. I think despite some absences for AFC Bournemouth, most of us were thinking that we should have a strong enough team to be able to have a proper go at them. And from the off, I just thought we were quality. Some really good early hassling and harrying. We didn't allow Man United any time on the ball. That said, I think they got the first shot away with Ahmad. I think Smith thought he intercepted a bit of play, overran the ball, and then a left-footed shot from Ahmad, well saved by Kepa, who, by the way, I thought had a really, really good game for AFC Bournemouth. But it was a full-on press from AFC Bournemouth. We were crowding around them at every opportunity. Tyler Adams was dropping back when needed. Zabani was imperious on the ball. Kirkus was a left-sided menace, and then Cherries had a really good chance with Semenyo. I think Malacia gave the ball away. Christie intercepted, and he was an absolute beast today. Got all around the pitch, and he managed to lay it to Semenyo, and it was like the parting of the Red Sea at this point, because he had time and space to dispatch a shot. It went down the throat of Onana, but it just showed that we had the capabilities here of getting between the lines and getting a shot away. And at that point, Semenyo could have gone right, could have gone left, but he had the time as the United defenders were stepping away to get the shot on goal. The work rate that we had and the fact that we were hunting in packs meant that we were getting a lot of the ball in the early stages. But as the game wore on, it felt like United would grow into it, and they did. Not before, though, Dean Howson turns up to nod in yet another goal for the Cherries, another set piece. It was a free kick on the right-hand side that Adam Smith won. I think some United fans are a little bit up in arms about whether it was a free kick or not, but I think it was. It looked a bit out of control, even though he did nick the ball. Ryan Christie, his set-piece delivery and his involvement in goals, my God, we told you those stats after the West Ham game, right? I think he was involved in like 11 of the 29 or whatever it was shots that we had in that game, and he was involved again with an assist. And what good delivery it was with his left foot, by the way. Howson, right place, right time, no danger of offside, just glanced it into the net and sending AFC Bournemouth fans into raptures there. Really, really good goal. And that was a really good foundation for AFC Bournemouth to hopefully build on. But we didn't really, because Manchester United sort of started to get a little bit more into it. Not before Evan Nilsson had a chance, by the way. Lofted ball through to his chest, and he kind of pirouetted and managed to get a shot away, which if someone was following up, we should have done better with. But this is where it was a half of two halves, because Bournemouth had to weather a bit of a storm before the end of the first half. Man United had a free kick on the edge of the box. It felt like more than once, loads of corners, but we were doing really well. Zabani again, quality. Howson I thought was absolutely superb, and Kepa, when called upon, was really, really good. And Kepa, by the way, is positioning throughout, I thought was excellent. There was a moment where Xerxes looked to be in, but he was on the edge of the box like waiting, and he managed to cut out that ball before Xerxes could get to it. So he was always alert. Credit to him for that. We did have a moment, a bit of a heart in mouth moment, where we sort of switched off a little bit. Howson gave the ball away. Man United pretty much broke 2-on-1, but Kepa managed to put in a good save, and Smith acrobatically cleared it. And then Man United got a corner, and Howson unintentionally became the hero when the ball just hit his head and he managed to clear, and danger was averted. Fernandes had a long distance shot from the edge of the box as well. It had Kepa beaten, but it just wasn't on target. So we managed to, whilst we firstly dominated the game, the stats were really in our favour in terms of shots on goal. We ended that half 11 shots to 5 to United, because Bournemouth started to be second to everything. But about the first half then, I mean, yeah, we made Manchester United look absolutely ordinary, but then we kept on giving the ball away really easily. And at this point, I was looking for, like, who's going to be the impact off the bench for us? I think when people naturally think of Iraola subs, they think of a player that's going to hit the ground running and go on runs, and sort of like Luis Sinisterra does when he comes on, have that visual impact. But whilst the players that he could bring on wouldn't necessarily have that, they just shored up what we've already got, and they were really good subs to make. One of the things that I was thinking was that Adam Smith might make way, because Malacia was seemingly having a lot of joy. The heat maps do sort of tend to indicate that they were having a fair bit of joy down that left side. However, he was taken off. We'd already made the decision by that time anyway to bring Lewis Cook on, and obviously he did what Lewis Cook tends to do and slot back into the right back position. And then the second half, my God, man. Started off with Bournemouth having an isolated chance. Semenyo, was it? That Evan Nilsson effectively rounded the keeper from distance, and the ball found Semenyo, who blazed over. But then there was another bit of a storm to weather. Man United got a few dangerous corners, and Bournemouth almost reverted to the side that finished the first half a bit shakily. It was all a bit squeaky bum, and Man U then made a few changes which I thought would maybe give them a little bit more impetus. I think Hoyland came on, Garnacho, Xerxes and Ugarte making way, but it changed everything for the better for AFC Bournemouth, because I tell you what, Dango Ouattara, he's had some stick, right, but I thought he had a good game. He's frustrating, don't get me wrong, but at times his hold-up play was really, really good. And later on we'll come to a tackle at the end of the game, which he did so well to make. But there's some really good interplay on that left-hand side from Dango, Christie and Kluivert, and then Kluivert runs into the box, and Mazraoui, what's he doing? Awful challenge, gave Kluivert the chance to take a penalty kick, and of course he scored it, which I think now means 17% of the penalties in the Premier League this season have been scored by Cliver. Well taken penalty. I think Man United, by the way, were protesting it was an offside from Dango on the first phase of play. I thought that at the time, but I think about 25, 26 seconds had passed by the time the ball was in the back of the net. So I haven't seen that again to see if it was offside, but I think technically, surely that's counted as a different phase of play. So before Bournemouth fans had chance to even catch their breath, it was 3. Semenyo. My God, Manchester United absolutely directionless. Ball was played forward by them. Cut out, I think, through Zabani. And he set Cherries on their way. Evan Nilsson had the ball, fed Dango, who was working so hard down that left. And he pulled it back for Semenyo, who had a really easy finish. Cue Cherries fans singing, "It's happened again." Manchester United, it's happened again. Also, 10 more years, Iraola. You love to see that. And from that point forward, we pretty much saw the game out. So many players that I want to call out. I think me and Tom will need to go over it on Christmas Eve. But we all knew that at some stage, Cherries would come out and batter someone if we converted our chances. We didn't necessarily think it was going to be at Old Trafford again. But we were superb, and our work rate from all players, not just in the attacking third as well, coming back. That Dango challenge that I was talking about, this was in the closing minutes, so it didn't mean much. I think it was in the 5 minutes of injury time that the ref provided. And Man United were on the break. It was 3-on-3. Dango comes out of nowhere, puts in a brilliant challenge, and then collects the ball and sets Cherries on their way. Bournemouth fans singing Jingle Bells at full time. My God, it's absolutely such a good time to be a Cherries fan at the moment. It's probably one of the best Christmas presents ever. Let's take a look at that league table again. Come on. That is a thing of beauty. This table, of course, is going to change because Spurs are playing Liverpool probably as you're watching this. I'm literally just now watching the YouTube highlights. As you can tell, I'm not at the stadium. People who've watched this channel will have known what's happened to me in the last month. Big day is tomorrow. Looking forward to that. But yeah, it's on Sky Sports already, and we just look absolutely superb. Man United, just their choices in the final third just weren't good enough whatsoever. They really weren't. And for us, we were just so good with it. Really good with it. That penalty, I mean, how on earth could he have possibly said that was not a pen? To all ends up, that was a penalty kick. Mazraoui, awful challenge on Cliver, completely took him out. And look, talking about that third goal, again, I'm just watching it back now. Semenyo, really good hassling. And Evan Nilsson's turn, by the way, absolutely superb, and that happened before he put Dango through to then pull it back to Semenyo. But oh my God, Match of the Day is going to make some quality viewing tonight. Club Bruges away, ole ole. Maybe that is going to happen. But look, Cherries, have a very, very happy Christmas. There'll be videos ahead to talk about this. Don't you worry. Final score from Manchester United. The Red Devils 0. The Cherries 3.